First try. I want to go over my favorite 2 kickflip tips, but to do that I have to explain what I've been doing wrong for about a year and a half. So you kick a kickflip with your back foot, the foot that's normally popping an ollie or scooping a shove it. And you see, I was under the misconception that you'd use your back foot to dip down, hook under the middle of the board, and then flick and pull up with this back foot. So when I was trying to do the kickflip, I was trying to use the tip of my toe. This basically just resulted in really inconsistent kickflips, and I would get one about once every 6 months. I did find out that that was a lot more doable of a method when you have an actual rubber toe cap like my previous Karyoma shoes did. But these shoes are really smooth, and I almost immediately realized that I had no chance of getting a kickflip simply because I couldn't get the flick with the top of my shoe, this tip of my toe. So I knew something was wrong, and I started to wonder how I could fix it. If maybe I had to flick my toe up more to make sure that the rubber part of my sole was making contact with the board. But then that didn't really make that much sense either. So I started watching some old Mike Osterman videos, and I realized that he wasn't really using this part of his shoe, he was using the rubber of his sole. So tip number 1 is to make sure that when you're doing this flick, when you're doing the kick with your back foot, that the part coming in contact with the deck is indeed your sole, the sole of your shoe, the gum of your shoe. That's what's going to grip the wood and do the kickflip. If you use the suede part of your shoe, it's just going to be too slippery to get any kind of consistent kickflip. So I'm going to try to use my toe. So we're going to try to not use this smooth part of the shoe, but we're going to try to use the rubber of the sole. First try. So you can do these with the smooth upper part of your shoe. I'll show you an example. I just don't find them consistent. I find I really struggle and get them very randomly. Kickflip to regular is an even better example of this because you use even more of the inside, more towards the midsole of your sole. Yeah. So my second favorite tip is actually to just practice starting with your feet in bible stance on the ground and then jumping into the position that you think you're going to be on when you land on the skateboard. You want to be practicing that motion of starting with your feet together, jumping up and separating them in the air while you rotate and landing on where you think the board is going to be, because that is just such a scary aspect of the kickflip to fakie and the kickflip to regular. You really want to kind of trick your brain into feeling comfortable with this. Because the one thing that you do not want to do, I promise you, is to jump from your feet together to your feet together, because that almost always guarantees a pretty hard, nasty slam. The first time I almost got my kickflip to regular, I took a slam for that exact reason, which I'll show you. Yeah, so the final tip would be, try to keep your shoulders in line with your body. Try to keep everything nice and tall. If you do this, you'll have a much better chance of actually landing on the board. If you lean too far over your toes, then you're most likely going to keep slipping out on the board. It's something that I've struggled with a lot of different tricks, and particularly this one is a good place that catches that. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope to see you next time.